Can the Chicago Bears get this guy going? Number 2, DJ Moore. It's been a weird season for DJ, and long term, is he on this team? Is he not? We could discuss that in the offseason, but right now, they are not getting enough out of him. Can that change? We're going to explore it all here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. If you want DJ Moore to get more involved, hit that like button because that would certainly help this offense be a little bit more consistent. And with Rome Odunze banged up, it'd be really nice if DJ Moore could get going. What's up with DJ? It's been a disappointing season, a weird season, and Bears fans want to know, me included, can this guy be more of a factor down the stretch? I mean, let's just look at the numbers this year. To me, through 13 games, these are honestly, you could argue, closer to wide receiver 3 numbers than wide receiver 2. I would say these are low-end wide receiver 2 numbers. I mean, he's on pace to have like 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, for a guy making as much as he is, that is just not the production you are looking for. Better yet, let's just go week by week. How many weeks here is it like, oh, he's like not even that involved? I mean, 3 for 68, that's a solid wide receiver 2 day. 5 for 46, okay. 4 for 21, did have a touchdown against Dallas. 4 for 38, 3 for 42. 3 for 43, 4 for 73, better. 4 for 72 and a rushing touchdown, better. No stats against the Giants. That might have been the game he got banged up, but still. 1 for 18 in Week 11. 5 for 64 and 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. Definitely his best game of the year. 2 for 17 2 weeks ago. And then against the Packers in a game where you knew going into it, Rome Odunze would be unavailable. 1 reception for -4 yards. And the only 2 targets I can remember was that manufactured forward lateral play, which was caught for -4, and a wide receiver screen that was blown up by Keyshawn Nixon. So, I think when you look at the production and you look at how these games are unfolding, it makes you wonder, are the Bears just not high on him? And what I mean, is Ben Johnson, Declan Doyle, this staff, do they not view him as a top-end receiver in this league? Because you watch, and in a lot of these games, it's man, the only targets he's getting are these manufactured touches and an occasional pass downfield. And then 2 weeks ago, Caleb tries to hit him up the seam at the end of the first half, and he falls down, and it's they don't go back to him. So, is it a Caleb lack of trust problem? Do the Bears not view him in a high light? It's hard to figure out. I do think there are some limitations in his game. Clearly, he's not like a Justin Jefferson. He's never been the best route runner, but he's had years way better than this. And I understand there's a lot of mouths to feed here, but again, in a game with no Rome Odunze, 1 for -4? That's concerning if you ask me. So coming up next, Ben Johnson sounds off on DJ's game against the Packers in terms of the lack of production. And we're going to dive into this a little bit more as we go here on today's show. But today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. The holidays are here. It's the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, hockey games, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. That is PrizePicks. A lot of cool features with PrizePicks. How you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. If you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the test. You're probably asking, okay, how do you play? What does a PrizePicks lineup look like? Well, first you create an account, prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. But 2, you pick 2 or more players and take more or less on their stat projections. Passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, points, rebounds, assists, and basketball. All sports available, all kinds of stats. They give you a stat projection for that player, a lot of stat projections for certain players, and you take more or less. I took more on half a passing touchdown for Caleb Williams. That's a goblin play. Those are easier to hit. Speaking of DJ Moore, you would think against the Browns that would be kind of a soft landing spot to be more productive. So I'll take the more on 33.5 receiving yards for DJ. And then I also took more than 30.5 pass attempts for Shedeur Sanders. If the Bears can get a lead in this game, Shedeur is going to be forced to throw a lot. $20 lineup to win $65 on this 3-player lineup from PrizePicks. That's one of thousands of examples of a PrizePicks lineup. Check it out today. Download the app. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Now, Ben Johnson was asked about the lack of productivity from DJ in the Packers game on Monday, and here's what he had to say. He said, I don't know if there was anything with DJ. I thought he ran some pretty good routes over the course of the day, and we just couldn't get him the ball, which that was not the intent. I thought going into the game, we might have had more for him than any other player in the offense. Was a little surprised in the end when I saw the stat sheet for one catch like he had. Couple things I'll say about this. Number one, Ben Johnson's pretty honest with the media. Now, I'm not saying he's ever, intentionally been misleading about something to protect a player or something like that. Certainly possible. But, again, I haven't seen every play. I don't know the progression of every play from that Packers game. But just in general, when I watch the Bears play, it does not feel like he's the primary very often. And what I mean by the primary is the first read, right? When Rome Odunze's playing, he's the first read a lot. He's the primary in a lot of plays, and that's the design of the play. Like, hey, Caleb, first read is Jerome Odunze here. It does not feel like he's the primary very often. Great example. That last play, game on the line, he's the third option. You could argue fourth on that boot to the left. Swift is the primary in the flat. Kmet over the top. Caleb running, and then DJ Moore, which you're really not going to get back to DJ on that play. So he's not even a viable option with Ben Johnson confirmed there. So to not even consider him with the game on the line, I think that speaks volumes. So again, I kind of get back to the point, like, does this staff not view him as highly as maybe the prior staff did, or other staffs in Carolina, or whatever the case may be? I'm not saying they do or don't, but you watch sometimes, it's like they kind of view him as just like a juiced-up gadget guy. There's evidence of this, too. They created a running back package for him in training camp. How often in training camp were we hearing reports with boots on the ground? Yeah, DJ Moore lined up in the backfield. Early in the season, they were doing it a lot. They were handing the ball to him. They threw a couple passes to him out of the backfield, which I'm actually okay with, like run an angle route. But the thing was, his running back package wasn't even that creative. It was just like, we're just going to run him the ball. It's like, okay, I'm waiting for you to set something up off this. They did run one like little wheel route to him against the Giants out of the backfield. That was cool, but like it was like, okay, that's interesting. Lots of manufactured touches, screens, that little shovel, end arounds, right? Like almost like, he's a Deebo Samuel gadget guy, but we're not even throwing deep ends to him like the Niners used to do with San Francisco. And then again, it feels like, I can't confirm this last part, it feels like there's a low amount of plays with him as the primary read. Now, there could be a lot of other angles here, but I think there's a lot of evidence here. The Bears don't view DJ as a high-end receiver. They certainly haven't used him like that. Now, is it a Caleb Williams issue? I don't really know. We'll talk about that in a second, but the bottom line is whoever's fault it is, whether it's DJ, they don't view him in that light, whether he's declined, whether it's a bad fit in this system, whether it's Caleb Williams not going to him often enough. He's making $28 million per year. And again, this show isn't, I'm blaming DJ Moore. Could he be part of the problem? Certainly. But from everything I've heard this year, the attitude's been good. He's the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Bears. Clearly, there's a lot of positives here in terms of who he is in that locker room. But regardless of who to blame is, he's not productive enough for what he makes. And so long term, and again, that's not the point of this video either, it makes you think they're probably going to pivot off him. But you got to find a way to get more out of him this year because you're 9-4. You got 4 games left. Like, you got big opportunities here to make a playoff push. So he can't just be a juiced-up gadget guy. Like, there's got to be more than that. Subscribe to the channel. More to come here in just a second. But if you want free and daily content, live watch parties, which we do every single day. We also go live every Monday and Thursday, plus a whole lot more. This is the channel for you. We do shorts as well. Lots of Bears videos. Subscribe, turn on notifications. We got you guys covered. And the reason I just wonder what's going on here is, again, he's been productive in the NFL. Now, in Carolina, they just didn't have a lot of other options, so you could say that's part of it. But even with Justin Fields his first year, now a lot of it was force feeding. Justin Fields would just throw to DJ a lot. When he threw anywhere else, it was basically a disaster. He couldn't hit Darnell Mooney. Him and Kmet had a decent connection, but 1364 his first year here, and we're like, wow, this is a true bona fide number one. Well, last year they didn't seem to get on the same page. Obviously, the offense was just kind of broken in general. But this year, I felt like in a Ben Johnson offense, what did Ben say? I want guys who can give us yards after the catch. Well, that's DJ Moore. And they've tried to do that from a manufactured touches standpoint, screens and stuff like that. There's not a lot of downfield route running, at least it would appear, in terms of trying to get him heavily involved in that kind of way. So the question is, again, is who's to blame? Because, look, the production tells us he's a role player in this offense. Now, maybe they've left 1,000 yards on the table over the course of the year. I don't know. But the Bears have a top 10 offense, and DJ Moore's not that involved in it. He's got less than 500 yards receiving through 13 games. So a couple theories. I mean, has he fallen off? I can't imagine he's plummeted in his ability. He still looks good with the ball in his hand. Is he a bad fit in Ben Johnson's offense? I don't think he should be. Like, the route details may not be great. He's never been a great route runner, but yards after the catch potential. Is he not earning reps, opportunities during the week? Because Ben said, how you practice is how you're going to get opportunities. I feel like we haven't heard much of that. Again, the attitude stuff I've heard has been really good. Is this a Caleb Williams problem? But then on the flip side, I'm like, well, Caleb's starting to gel with a couple of rookies and Luther Burden and Colson Loveland. Him and DJ Moore can't gel. There's been whispers maybe they don't get along. Okay, is that leaking onto the field? Maybe. Too many mouths to feed. I think we all knew there was a chance that DJ's production could come down. Just Rome emerging. You drafted Luther, Colston, Cole, the running backs. But, there's, stretches where it's you don't even see him. You don't even see him, and that's why, big picture, there's been discussion. It feels like this might be his last year. Again, I'm not necessarily advocating for it, but if he's not going to be more productive, can't your money be better spent elsewhere? You can trade him, save $16 million, try to use that towards a pass rusher in a different trade or something like that. But that part of it aside, again, big picture, we can have those discussions in the offseason. How do you get more out of him now? Because I don't know what's going on with Rome Odunze. He's got a stress fracture in his foot. That can lead to a full fracture. And if that happens, he's done for the year. So I would think they'd want to sit Rome at least another week and, be cautious there. You need DJ Moore to be more involved. So, if I'm the Bears in this Cleveland game coming up, I'm trying to get him some touches early, get him engaged in a game, because he just disappears for stretches. And again, not necessarily all his fault or his fault at all, but whatever it is, and it's probably a combination of everything we've kind of tried to conclude here, it's not working to what they're paying him to be. But they got 4 weeks to figure this out, because come playoff time, this is a guy, cold weather, his ability to break tackles, getting him the ball in space a few times a game would be nice, but it can't just be all manufactured junk. They got to find a way to dial up some plays for him. So we'll see if it happens. It's felt like a weird fit for whatever reason this year, but there's still some time, and I'm hoping it can work, because he's a high-paid player who's certainly capable, but we haven't seen it that often in 2025. Will DJ be more involved in the final 4 games? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Well, compared to Green Bay, he better be, because he had negative. I had more receiving yards than DJ Moore did against the Packers. So did you. So did Cullen. Because 0 is more than -4. Regardless of what DJ's skill level is at this point, whatever Ben, everyone thinks he should never have a game where he has 1 catch for -4 yards. He's a lot better than that. Now, we can debate if he's a 1,200-yard guy at this point in his career, but that's a shocking stat line in a game where you don't have Rome Odunze available. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll continue to pump out content here on a daily basis. Bear down.